think they've done well. They've obviously not a great start from their perspective, but they've battled back and they're getting points and they're playing well. So it's going to be a tough game.
What differences have you noticed in the team between the two teams you're setting up now?
Well, they change a little bit in terms of how they build up. I think a bit more longer balls, I would say, a little bit more direct. At the same time, they still have the same quality. They've got the threats of Rashford, Anthony, Sancho. Bruno Fernandes plays a key role for them. So there's a lot of similarities, but they've just seemed to have adapted to the competition, adapted to each other. They're probably learning more about each other. It's a normal process, really. And you know, I'd been at Brighton for 3 years when we played, and Eric had been at Man United 6 weeks, if that. So there's a lot of learning that you need to do and a process that you need to go through, which is normal. Because he has the quality, then naturally I'm pretty sure they'll get better and better as the time goes on.
Thanks.
John South from 5 Live.
I think Eric Ten Hag said this lunchtime that he knows a bit more about you as well now after the opening game. He maybe didn't. So you got something up your sleeve for them this weekend?
No, not really. I mean, it's a game of football. It's always the same. You have to analyse the opponent and think of a way that you can play yourself. But Manchester United are Manchester United. They've got some top players, and they're galvanising into an impressive team. So, as I said, it's a tough game. It's an exciting game, fantastic game to be involved in. So we're really looking forward to it.
What have you made of the way that Eric Ten Hag has dealt with Cristiano Ronaldo over the last couple of days?
Well, I can't really comment because I don't know the ins and outs, but he's taken his stance. That's sometimes you have to do that, and then you need the club to support. So from the outside, that's what's happened.
Is that the only thing you probably could have done? Is that how you'd have reacted? Just because I suppose you've got to show you're the boss.
Well, it's difficult for me to comment because I don't know the actual context. I don't know what's really happened. I don't want to go off headlines and things like that. So. Part of the job is to take some decisions that are difficult, but that's normal. Just one on
Dennis Zakaria. Where does he fit into your plans? Is it going to take time, or why hasn't he really featured yet?
Well, we've got a squad of 24 players. We've used quite a lot in that position. There's quite a few also good players, so he's had to be a little bit patient. But he's competing, he's fighting for his place, and he's ready to help the team if he needs. No matter how the season goes, there's always going to be a question about an individual because you can't literally play everybody. So he's just been a little bit unfortunate. He's done nothing wrong, but at the moment he hasn't had the game time that I'm sure he would like. But he's acted well in training and he's ready to help.
Moose, talk sport.
Graham, can you talk to us about the conversations you've had with Reece James and N'Golo Kante, maybe about the disappointments not only of not playing for Chelsea in the next couple of months, but actually missing out on the World Cup? Because for both of them, the news this week would have been devastating. And I suppose as a club manager, you've got to think first of all about your team, but then you've also got to think about the individuals.
Yeah, absolutely, and you at least acknowledge the fact that they're human beings that want to be involved in that type of competition. Absolutely. The reality is I haven't got anything to say that will make it any better for them, and I think it's worth me acknowledging that. It's one of those things, you just have to focus on the things that you can control, focus on your rehab, go day to day, things get better, and then you just move forward.
We spoke earlier when you got to Chelsea about N'Golo Kante and his contract being up at the end of the season, and how many games he misses, and obviously he's through injury and he's missing a load more this season. Does this impact in any discussions you have about whether he'll be staying on at the end of the season?
Well, no, it's the most important thing for us and for me is that we help him get fit. That's the focus. He's got a long road ahead of him, so we have to make sure that we get the right treatment. We help him get back fit and strong, and then when he's enjoying his football, we can think about those things then.
The last one from me, we've seen a lot of your personality come out in the press conferences.
I have one, I do have one.
I'm not saying you were not. I wasn't implying in any way you were boring. I promise you.
Hang on a minute. I never mentioned boring.
I know, fair enough. But
it's not really fair enough.
Is your team now playing with your personality? That's what I was going to.
I think 6 weeks is a quite short time to really get my true wonderful personality onto a team. Depends who you listen to and which media outlet you take opinion off. No, I think it's the personality is the personality of the players at the moment. Absolutely, it's them. They've understood that there's a challenge to be had. They've taken it up. They've been brilliant, really honest, really responsible, really open. So the personality is all them. You've got to wait for my boring one to emerge.
Thank you.
Thank you. Martin, Sky Sports.
Hi Graham.
Hi.
Can I take you back a number of years and ask you to revisit the 20 minutes you played for Southampton against Manchester United? I'm sitting alongside Gary Neville on Saturday, tomorrow, and he might have a view because he was one of the defence that conceded 6 goals in that game.
Yep.
What are your personal memories of that cameo appearance?
Well, that changed the game. I think it was turning towards Manchester United, and then all of a sudden I came on and it flipped towards us. I think
3 goals while you were on.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thankfully we didn't lose the game when I get on there. That's the bigger worry for me. It was just one of those days that you get at the Dell. I think if you speak to Gary, they'll know that historically they didn't really like the Dell that much. I think they had a previous season. It wasn't great with the shirt change, I think.
Yeah.
So it was those games. I think Matt Letizia was on fire. Ayal Berkovic, I think, scored a really good goal. It just one of those team performances. It was fantastic. I think Roy Keane got sent off as well.
He did.
So that might have,
as
well, apologies for mentioning that to Roy, but it's not like him. No, so that of course contributed. So it was a great day for us and not a good one for them.
Just one on more recent times. When Conor Gallagher went off, do you feel that changed your plans dramatically in the sense that you were taking off through illness a player who can score a goal and bringing on a player whose goal record is not very good, should we say, but many other qualities, Kovacic. But did that change at that particular early moment and you ended up not scoring in the game?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the fourth substitution, it means you can only make 2 now in terms of 2 stops, so it affected us a little bit. But at the same time, we probably needed a little bit of control in the game because Brentford, it's not easy to control, and if you don't control it, then the ball's in your box quite quickly and easily. So that was just the decision at the time, and obviously Mateo's got his quality that he brings to the team.
Okay, last question in the broadcast section. Nick, PA.
Hi.
Trevor Chalobah's obviously in really great form, and he's unbeaten when he started for Chelsea. How have you seen his development? And I think obviously a few people are starting to suggest he should be in the England pictures. Do you think that's that's merited? And how impressed have you been with him in the time that you've played?
Very impressed. Very. From day one, I have to say, because he wasn't in the start for the first couple of games, but acted perfectly. Just trained really well and very professional, very determined. He's an impressive character, very focused on his football, wants to play, wants to help the team, wants Chelsea to win. So he's great in that regard, and he's a bit of a soldier. He's played in all the games, and we're having some problems in terms of availability for players. But he's stood up there and stood in for us, and he's performing at a really good level. So not surprised that he gets that link, but that's thankfully not my problem, that's somebody else's.
Do you think he's at that level? I mean, he's obviously not got a decision to make, but do you think he's
Well,
good enough to do it?
he's playing every week for us, and again, that's a decision for Gareth to make, not me.
Okay, leave it there. Cameras off, please.